New reopening restrictions start today in Dane County. How your holiday weekend will change.
Plus, the president's administration taking a new approach to testing for the coronavirus. We'll tell you how it works.
Yet another day where heat indices are expected to make it into the low 90s. This heat is here to stay, folks.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Thanks for being with us. July 2nd, it's a Thursday, and we have two big stories of the day: that heat and humidity for the holiday weekend that we are tracking, a couple of alert days, plus the new changes to Dane County.
Chris Reese has been talking about whether it's an Oak Day or a Geez Louise Day all week. Really high heat indices throughout the week, and then it's going to last for another week. We'll get it to his forecast in about 5 minutes.
So as far as those restrictions go on reopening ahead of the holiday weekend, Dane County is taking action to limit the spread of coronavirus. Starting in a couple of hours here at 8 o'clock, there will be some tighter restrictions put into place. Restaurants will be limited to 25% capacity. Bars will be limited to takeout only. Other changes include limiting indoor gatherings to just 10 people and outdoor gatherings to 25. That all includes social distancing as well. Now, the Tavern League of Wisconsin is saying this new order violates a precedent set when the state Supreme Court overruled Safer at Home back in May. They say the order is causing irreparable harm to small businesses and their families. Now, these new guidelines will also bring changes to gyms and fitness centers. They'll still be allowed to operate at 50% capacity, but group classes will now be limited for social distancing and must comply with those restrictions on large gatherings, meaning 10 or fewer people indoors and 25 or fewer outdoors. Other businesses and stores are also allowed to run at 50% capacity. There's a lot of new information here to go through. We've made it easy for you to navigate. Just go to our website, channel3000.com.
So the decision to step back on reopening comes as, for the first time, the U.S. records more than 50,000 new cases in a single day. Here in Wisconsin, state and local health officials confirmed more than 500 new cases yesterday. That's down from about 600 on Tuesday. 2 more people have died. 79% of those positive cases have now recovered. The percentage of new positive tests, though, continues to see a gradual incline. Of the more than 12,000 people tested in the past 24 hours, 4.3% of tests came back positive. That is a slight drop from yesterday's 4.7%. Johns Hopkins University says more than 128,000 Americans have now died from the virus, but a new study is estimating that number could be off by almost 30%. Researchers in the JAMA Internal Medicine Journal say that number accounts for deaths in March through May, when testing kits weren't always readily available. The LA Times reports a team of Yale researchers based this new information by looking at the average number of deaths in previous years and then compared them to deaths in 2020.
6:02 right now. The president's administration says they're picking up a different strategy when it comes to testing. It's called pooled testing. According to the New York Times, the decades-old strategy will enable the frequent surveillance of people who don't show symptoms. Here's how it works. Samples are taken from a large group. Some of those samples are set aside. Others are combined into batches of 5 or 10. The sample pool is then tested. If the results come back negative, then it's likely just 1 or 2% of the population is infected. If the pool is positive, the individual samples will then be checked to isolate those infected. The strategy is said to be fast, efficient, and cheap, costing about $3 a day per person. The FDA is granting emergency use to make a new testing option available. Kroger can now use its at-home testing kit for frontline employees across the country. That test is available in 14 states where Kroger operates. Wisconsin is not yet one of those, but will be added to the list in the coming weeks. Kroger says they expect to process up to 60,000 tests a week by the end of July. When most businesses shut down during coronavirus, daycare centers kept their doors open.
Our Christina Laurie is with us this morning to explain how they've managed. Hi, Christina.
Hi, Chris and Leah. There have been no reported coronavirus outbreaks at Madison area daycare centers, and at a time when we're seeing cases spike at restaurants and bars, there's something that can definitely be learned from the businesses who are getting it right. Take Kinder Care on Madison's west side, for example. On average, staff members there take care of a couple dozen kids every day. But even as the virus spread this spring and cases continue to climb, the center's director says there haven't been any reported cases at her facility. This could be in part because there are almost no recorded cases of child to adult transmission of the virus. An education policy expert wrote an op-ed explaining this is why reopening full-time child care and schools won't be too risky as long as administrators are also strict about their policies. Places like KinderCare not only clean constantly, they don't allow anyone besides children in their building. Not even our team was allowed inside for this interview.
Parents drop off their kids at the door. We take their temperature, and we ask a few health questions. Have you had a fever? Have you had any sicknesses? And then we take them in, and then we also do wellness checks throughout the day.
The director of KinderCare says her center not only follows CDC guidelines, but they extend them and comply with even more of their own. In our next half hour, I'll explain what some of those are and what school administrators can learn from the extra steps daycare staff has already been taking every day to successfully keep kids safe. Chris and Leah.
All right, Christina Laurie, thanks.
So last night, parents and staff got a chance to meet the second Madison School Superintendent finalist. Dr. Carol Kelly says she considers herself an equity advocate and champion for students.
I believe that all children can learn at really high levels. I also believe that all students should have access to high quality instructional experiences. And I believe that all schools should thrive, and the role of central office and the superintendent is to support the work of our schools.
Dr. Kelly is currently a superintendent in Oak Park, Illinois. On Tuesday night, we heard from Dr. Carlton Jenkins, the other finalist. We now await the school board to finish their additional interviews and make a decision. When they do, be sure to stay with News 3 on air and online for that announcement.
6:06 right now. Turn into your forecast. Chris Reese bringing the heat for us, whether you want it or not.
We've been talking about this map this morning, and we're looking at above normal temperatures for the foreseeable future. Josh, and even the folks at home, get used to that. Our average temperature is at 80 throughout the month of June, or July rather. It's expected that we're going to see high temperatures above 80 almost each and every single day here. So this is through the 11th. This goes through the 15th. Notice how this core of heat begins to develop across the middle part of the country here. That's what we're expecting really throughout our upper air pattern as a whole. What happens about 30,000 feet above our heads, that's what drives the weather that we experience right here on the ground. So you're seeing the colors kind of ebb and flow. This is the ridge of heat developing, and what eventually takes hold is a hot, hazy, and humid pattern for much of the United States. It'll also keep temperatures, or not temperatures, but rain on the lighter side, even though that chance is going to be there. We're not seeing any rain out there now. There were some showers towards the south of Dubuque earlier on. They are still there, but for the most part, they're even lessening in terms of coverage and intensity. Here's what it looks like. The sun is getting higher. Temperatures are also starting to increase. We're now at 64, 70 for Janesville. Watertown is at 65. Juneau is also at 64. Here, those dew points, though, into the 50s and 60s. They'll pretty much stay into the low 60s today. Air temperatures will work their way into the upper 80s. You factor in the humidity, and we'll start to see the heat indices into the low 90s today. Overnight tonight, we're cooling down into the 60s. Then we move into tomorrow. It's the upper 80s again, but we'll actually have a better chance to see a shower or a thunderstorm tomorrow as opposed to today. So you get the icon there for your Friday. 90s for Saturday and Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all are humid with the chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. Temperatures will be into the upper 80s.
That is a lot of humidity on that forecast map there.
So you know it's even going to feel warmer. But yeah.
We'll deal with it as we always do, Chris. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I'm in the Alert Center this morning, keeping a close eye on overnight numbers from the stock market as Wall Street just had its best quarter in more than 20 years. All three major indices shot up yesterday, led by more than a 30% surge for the NASDAQ. Right now, they're all still up this morning. The S&P 500 is up more than 0.5%. The Dow is showing a gain of 0.8%. NASDAQ up 0.37%. At the same time, the nation's economy is still struggling this morning with the unemployment at more than 13%. According to some estimates, the economy is expected to contract by at least 5% this year. The job market is expected to show improvements as well when a new report is released later this morning.
Tesla has something to show after that bump on Wall Street. The electric automaker now worth more than nearly every company on the S&P 500. Tesla shares were up 4% in midday trading to a new record high of about $1,120 a share. At that price, Tesla's market capitalization is at nearly $210 billion. That makes it the most valuable auto company in the world, ahead of even Toyota.
Well, not the best time for other automakers, however. They are reporting their biggest drop in sales since the 2009 recession, with some reporting a more than 30% plunge in sales during the second quarter. Car companies have been forced to close dealerships for weeks, but sales are also hurt by record job losses and limited spending, as well as mass work-from-home policies that temporarily put commutes on hold. Also a factor, fewer sales and more competition from car rental companies. They're selling existing fleets because of the travel slowdown.
10 minutes past 6 o'clock on your Thursday. Let's take a look at the roads. If you're heading out and about this morning, no crashes or major incidents to talk about. A few more slowdowns picking up near the Capitol, especially towards East Washington Avenue. Stoughton Road looking pretty good this morning. And if you're hopping on the Beltline right now, you shouldn't have any issues. Looks like we're moving at posted speeds on this Thursday. That's your first warn traffic.
All right, looking good, Josh. Thank you. Hey, the NFL is working to give fans a close to normal experience for the 2020 season. Coming up, the safety precautions and how they plan to keep you safe.
And coming up later, there's a new study out looking at homemade masks. We're going to tell you what materials they say work best. That's when News 3 Now This Morning continues.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Who am I?
Wow, is that really me?
Hi, I'm Annette, and I'm an actress. Under eye bags and wrinkles are so frustrating. They're so hard to hide and so hard to get rid of. I came across Plexiderm, and I was so excited. We have a model. His name is Richie, and all he's doing is taking a small amount. It's so powerful. That's all it takes. This 4th of July, in just 10 minutes, you'll look incredible. This is something that you can do in the convenience of your own home. It's a cream. It's a topical. It literally creates an invisible layer that tightens the skin and smooths it out. All you do is gently rub it underneath your eyes, on your fine lines and wrinkles, and it visibly disappears in as little as 10 minutes.
My real true opinion is holy words I can't say on camera. This is absolutely unbelievable. I mean, I could feel it just lifting my skin. It was amazing. It feels good. It feels great. Looks even better.
I can't even believe that this worked. I was a little skeptical, I am not going to lie, because I saw people online with it. I'm like, yeah, right, that can't possibly work. I'm telling you, it really works.
I thought I might see a little difference, but to see that big of a difference, and you know, I felt something happening, but I had no idea. Like, I have so many dark circles, I have the puffiness, I have the lines. Like, it's amazing. I love it. I did this to my father at home because I was skeptical. Yes, I admit it. 4 minutes, 34 seconds. The appearance of his under eye bag was completely gone. We were screaming. You have an event, you have any of those moments where you want to feel the best about yourself. I am telling you, the videos that you see on social media and TV are real. This 4th of July is the best time to get Plexiderm for $14.95 and see it work for yourself after your first application. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Rogan's Shoes retail stores are now open. When you visit Rogan's, we'll be practicing good social distancing for the protection of all customers and employees. If you would like to limit contact and have curbside pickup, just call your local store to set it up. If you prefer to shop online, Rogan's Shoes would like to remind you our website is open and we are still offering free shipping. Rogan's wants to help by providing you the best solution possible for your family. Selection, service, and savings. That's Rogan's.
Selection, service, name brands, and the second pair is half price. Visit online at roganshoes.com.
America, we want to help get you back to it. And here's how, with the Ford Promise. Visit your Ford dealer. Finance a new, certified pre-owned or used vehicle through Ford Credit, and if you lose your job, you can return it for up to 1 year from the day you bought it. You can also get 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Let us help get you back to it with the Ford Promise.
Just about 6:14, breaking overnight, police in Milwaukee are investigating 4 fatal shootings in less than a day. One of those victims is a 16-year-old girl, which we first told you about yesterday morning. After that incident, 4 other people were shot and killed in 3 separate incidents. Police say the circumstances around all 5 deaths are still under investigation this morning.
Investigators in Texas say they've made significant progress in the search for soldier Vanessa Guillen. In April, Guillen vanished from Fort Hood. Now, police say that they have 1 suspect in custody and another person of interest, a soldier, killed himself as police approached him for questioning. The civilian suspect they arrested is the wife of that soldier. She is awaiting charges this morning. These latest developments come after searchers found partial human remains in a shallow grave near a Texas river Tuesday. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but her family says they think it's Guillen.
Madison police are investigating a homicide on the north side, the city's second in a 24-hour span. An officer found a man dead in the passenger seat from an apparent gunshot wound along North Sherman Wednesday afternoon. Witnesses say they saw 2 vehicles driving in the area when someone inside one of those cars fired at the other.
Just getting home, and I heard like 4 or 5 big cracks, big booms, and I thought it was fireworks and didn't pay too much attention to it. And then I heard a glass shattering, and I looked as I was about to enter my house that some cars were pulling away, and a guy was slumped out of the car, and it's just really scary.
Police do not have a suspect in custody this morning. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Madison area Crime Stoppers. No suspect either in that second homicide this week, the shooting death of an 18-year-old at the Red Roof Inn on Hayes Road. Violent Crimes Unit detectives do believe that man was specifically targeted. This all started as a weapons violation call at the hotel around 8:30 Tuesday night. Officers found the victim in the parking lot. The man was taken to the hospital where he later died.
Deputies say they now have a man in custody on 6 counts of intentional homicide after a months-long investigation into a deadly shooting in Rock County. The Winnebago County Sheriff's Department, just over the state line in Illinois, says it arrested 28-year-old Devontae Heiler of Beloit. In April, officers responded to Royce Avenue and found the body of 18-year-old Juwan Lehman. An autopsy revealed he was shot several times. Beloit detectives reached out to the Winnebago County Sheriff's Detective Bureau after evidence revealed the homicide actually happened in South Beloit. Police have a person of interest in custody this morning in connection with the attempted arson of the city-county building. Police arrested 26-year-old Marquand Clark last night on a probation violation following a traffic stop near Verona Road. Police say he may be connected to the attempted firebombing of the CCB last month. There was a $5,000 reward for information leading to an arrest.
In Los Angeles this morning, that city council is moving forward with a plan to reduce the police department's budget and a number of officers. They're moving $150 million to provide programs and services for communities of color and a youth summer jobs program. About 2/3 of that money comes from the police overtime budget. The council's 12-2 vote is also dropping the number of officers on the force from right around 10,000 to 9,757 by next summer. Previously, the LAPD budget was about $2 billion annually.
6:17 is your time right now. Chris Reese giving us a heavenly shot of the sunrise.
Yeah.
Not so heavenly outside. I'm not going to use the word of what I feel like, but
yeah, outside is a bit brutal when it comes to the humidity, but the shots have been wonderful. We've seen this sunrise this morning. It's continued to get higher in the sky. It's expected. It's summertime around here. 64 is our temperature. Winds are out of the north and northwest at 3 miles per hour. 70 for our friends at Janesville. Platteville is also warmed up towards 70 now. We're at 67 for both Prairie du Chien and Boscobel. Folks, we're going to take these temperatures in the 60s and nudge them up about 20 to 25 degrees as we go throughout your day. Dew points are into the 50s and 60s now. I'm expecting those to move into the mid-60s. So the humidity will be a little bit less today compared to recent days, but it's still going to be there. Doppler track remains free of showers and thunderstorms at the moment. As we look ahead throughout your day, we're expecting a mainly dry day, though I can't rule out a shower or a thunderstorm at times. Temperatures will be at 83 by lunch. We'll top out at 88.
All right, thanks, Chris. Time right now is 6:18. Well, the NFL says they're hoping to keep the fan experience as normal as possible heading into the 2020 season. There will be some changes, though, and that could include signing a waiver as you enter the stadium. The Athletics says the league is considering having all fans sign liability waivers at the gate, agreeing not to hold the NFL responsible if you catch COVID. Other possible plans for the upcoming season include blocking off rows close to the players to limit their exposure, and stadiums setting a capacity limit and seating chart, which would be on a team-by-team basis. For the first time in more than 60 years, the Packers will not be at St. Norbert's College for training camp. Due to the pandemic protocols put in place by the NFL, the Packers will be using their own facilities in an effort to limit the exposure to the virus. Lambeau Field will be used for all training operations, including practice, meals, and meetings. The team says they're also making housing arrangements for the players, but those plans are still being finalized.
All right, coming up on 20 minutes past 6 o'clock and still ahead for us on this Thursday morning, what material new research says you should be using for your homemade mask.
And small business owners could be getting another payout from the government. We'll tell you when you could see more support from the Paycheck Protection Program. That's coming up in the next half hour.
Stay with us. News 3 Now this morning. I'll be right back.
With a nursing degree, helping others went from a job to a career.
America, we want to help get you back to it. And here's how, with the Ford Promise. Visit your Ford dealer. Finance a new, certified pre-owned or used vehicle through Ford Credit, and if you lose your job, you can return it for up to 1 year from the day you bought it. You can also get 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Let us help get you back to it with the Ford Promise.
Seeing the joy that people feel when they share a meal with family and friends, that's why we do this. The laughter of kids around the table, the thrill of families driving through for a treat, the delight of not having to cook, and instead letting us safely serve you. It all comes back to taking care of each other. And for that, we'll be here with your favorites and always a smile.
If you have a fear of overpaying, you have FOOP. But don't worry, US Cellular has your back with the Samsung Galaxy S25G. Free when you switch, plus no activation fees. Stream without disruption, capture and post without restriction, and do it all without FOOP. Switch and get a free Samsung Galaxy S25G at US Cellular. Choose fair.
Incredible deals, huge markdowns, plus free doorstep shipping on everything. What a sale. The 4th of July sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Hercules. I have been expecting you.
Aha! And I brought you a gift so you can fight properly. Red Bull.
Oh!
How nice.
Of you.
But also
rather
stupid.
Mine.
Mine.
No, mine.
No, mine.
Mine.
Mine. Red Bull gives you wings.
Garver. Garver.
Gather. Ing. Gathering.
Garver.
Gathering.
Garv.
Ing.
Garvering. A socially responsible gathering where a maximum of 250 people enjoy thirst-quenching drinks, delicious food, and the arts in a safe, clean, and touchless outdoor environment. Let's go Garvering. Visit thegarverfeedmill.com for dates and details starting June 11th.
Brought to you by News 3 Now, Madison Magazine, and the Garver Feed Mill.
All right, we always ask you to share your morning with us, and Julie has a stunning one. Quite the colors popping here with some windmills in the background.
Yeah, you get the farm scene, the windmills, storm behind.
Big
cool
fan.
pick. Thanks for sending it in, Julie. Show us what you're up to in the morning. Keep it clean, folks. Go to our social media pages. Use the hashtag
Is that even a question?
Morning.
It's going to be now.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm just saying if you want to spice it up a little bit.
Oh, boy.
Please, no.
Use the hashtag and we'll choose our favorites. Show them on the air. So there's new research this morning that's given us a better idea of what materials we should be using for homemade face masks. There's a study out of Florida Atlantic University this morning. They experimented with different materials and styles of masks using materials that can be found in your home. They found that well-fitted stitched mask made from 2 layers of quilting material is the most effective when it comes to stopping droplets from coughs. Bandanas are the least effective, but still better than no mask at all. Both the WHO and the CDC recommend that you wear a mask when you're out in public.
I wear a bandana.
Better than nothing.
My producer Jake called me out for it. I wear a bandana when I'm outside, and then when I'm going into the grocery store, I have a little mask that I keep in my purse. So I have a couple of options
layers
here.
of protection.
And something's better than nothing, right?
Yeah.
You have to remember that too.
Exactly.
All right, we got a funny story for you here. New York State is turning to humor to try to get people to keep wearing masks during the pandemic. A new PSA stars a character who looks a lot like the serial killer Jason from the Friday the 13th movies. You can see him here walking around the streets of New York City in his hockey mask, unintentionally terrifying people while trying to fit in. He finds out it's because he's wearing a protective mask. The tagline reads, "Wearing a mask can be scary, not wearing one can be deadly."
This commercial was kind of confusing at first, and then I got it.
You're like trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah, of course they're going to be scared of Jason walking around because he's a serial killer and he looks creepy.
Especially if this is around the Halloween season, it'd probably be a little different.
That commercial really just cracks me up.
I know, me too. I think it's
when
funny.
he put the mask on it, that gets me.
Oh, that would be hot in that mask. It's got to be like sticking to his face.
It's hot in every mask. As someone who used to do theater, I can tell you it's always hot no matter what the mask is. So then, well, you go outside wearing one and it's still hot, but it's worth it to wear the mask, folks. Even though it's hot, I'm telling you, it's worth it. Temperatures outside this morning are a little bit more comfortable. 64, not 74, which is where we were at about this time yesterday. Dew points are into the 60s as well. 72 is the temperature in Mineral Point. Janesville is at 70. We're going to be warming up towards 88 today. With the humidity, the heat index will go up into about the low 90s. So we're going to be a couple degrees cooler today overall in terms of the heat and humidity, but we're still going to be warm.
All right. Thanks, Chris. We'll be back right after this.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Getting your air ducts thoroughly cleaned takes the trained professionals at Stanley Steamer using the most powerful equipment to get the most powerful results. Our equipment goes deep inside your ducts, removing years of dirt, pet hair, allergens, even dust mites. Unlike other air duct cleaning companies, Stanley Steamer cleans your entire system. Just look at how much dirt can be removed. Call today for a free inspection and save $50 on a cleaning.
Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
Happy 4th of July Super Sale, happening this week at the Brothers Maine. Come in now for more savings on more brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and Amana. We make upgrading your home more convenient at Maine with up to 18 months of 0% financing and expert-free delivery. Get more at the 4th of July Super Sale. More selection, more savings, and more satisfaction. And happy birthday, USA, from the Brothers Maine, your local store for more since 1938.
RHD Plumbing has the most reliable professionals in the industry. With honesty you can trust to deliver quality products and workmanship, dedicated to being the best. RHD Plumbing now offers complete bathroom and kitchen remodeling, the best plumbers, and everything else you need to finish your dream project. For your home or business, get the job done right the first time with no surprises. With the reliable, honest, and dedicated plumbing professionals of RHD Plumbing, proudly serving all of Dane County.
You wash your cars and clothes and canines. You wash your cars and clothes and canines. You wash your cars and clothes and canines. At the Magic Wash. At the Magic Wash. Whoa.
Here's to the road ahead. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
Now
Every hybrid vehicle in Toyota's lineup is available with 0% financing. With fewer stops for gas, Toyota hybrids give you the confidence to go farther. And with 0% financing, Toyota hybrids are even more thrilling. Enjoy more freedom in a Toyota hybrid. See your Toyota dealer or shop and buy online.
All from the brand you trust, today and tomorrow. Toyota.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
I solemnly swear that I will support the veterans of the
United States Armed Forces.
I will defend the Constitution
Against all enemies. That I will commit
to ensuring they are
not forgotten.
And I will enable veterans to live the same life of opportunity
they have provided me. So help me God.
A step in the wrong direction. New restrictions are about to go into place here in Dane County. How those changes will impact the start of your holiday weekend.
Speaking of the holiday weekend, there are 2 alert days in store for the heat and humidity. We're also timing out when we could see more thunderstorm chances.
This is News 3 Now this morning.
Good morning, folks. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday, July 2nd. 2 big stories we've been talking about all morning. That heat that Chris Reese is alluding to, plus these new limits on businesses.
Yeah, and as people are heading out and they're trying to get it with family, you want to go out to eat, that's going to be a lot tougher starting this morning.
Let's break it down for you. Those new limits will go into effect in just a couple of hours here in Dane County, of course, after we've seen this recent spike in coronavirus cases.
So if you're staying in town for the holiday weekend, you'll likely have to rethink some of your plans. Starting at 8 o'clock this morning here in 90 minutes, indoor gatherings are limited to 10 people or less. Outdoors, it's 25 people max. Restaurant capacity is being cut in half, now down to 25%. This is all with social distancing. It's a lot to break down, and we know the changes are coming fast, so we broke all of them down for you to easily access on our website, channel3000.com.
So young people now account for nearly half of those new confirmed cases in Dane County. The average age, 23. Health officials say they've only been able to tie 12 cases to recent protests. Most recent cases have been traced to bars near the UW-Madison campus.
Taking a look at the numbers, you'll see 4.3% of yesterday's tests came back positive. That is a slight drop from Tuesday's numbers, but you still see we are on an upward trend of positive cases over the past couple of weeks. 79% of the state's 29,000 confirmed cases have recovered.
Now, around the state, another city safer-at-home order is no longer in effect this morning after a judge called it unenforceable. A Racine County judge says that city's ordinance is vague and overbroad and violated Wisconsin's constitution. The order gave the city's public health administrator public power to modify its response until August 5th. And in Milwaukee, a city committee there will hold a hearing today on a potential mask mandate. The proposed ordinance would last until the end of the year. It's modeled after LA's current mask law, which requires a face covering if you visit a business, use public transportation, or take part in any activities outdoors. The hearing will be followed up with a public comment session. Then Common Council will take it up next week.
More than 40 school principals in California are in quarantine this morning. They all met in person earlier this month to plan the reopening of schools. The San Francisco Chronicle reports a pre-symptomatic person who later tested positive was at the meeting. The Santa Clara Unified School District is one of the 19 counties on the governor's watch list and is struggling to contain the spread of the virus. As of now, the county's guidelines suggest schools resume in-person instruction in the fall, but should be ready to go online if COVID-19 conditions change.
So those of you who decided to self-isolate and stay home before it was required might have helped save lives. A new study shows people who only went out of their homes for necessary trips likely helped slow the spread of the virus before local government stepped in. That data notes state and federal regulations might have been put in place either too late or not at all.
The latest jobs report is expected to come out in the next hour, and we are expecting some good news. But the projected surge in U.S. job growth is not expected to last. Economists estimate businesses, governments, and nonprofits added 3 million jobs in June to lower the unemployment rate. But the most up-to-date data suggests the recent spike in coronavirus cases will limit more gains, even with the anticipated 3 million jobs being added. The combined job growth for May and June would cover only a fraction of the 22 million jobs lost in March and April. Struggling small business owners could soon get another boost from the federal government. A bill that would revive the $670 billion small business aid program is on its way to the president's desk. The Senate unexpectedly approved it earlier this week, and the bill has now cleared the House. Politico reports the legislation would allow the Paycheck Protection Program to resume issuing loans until August 8th. The loans can be converted to grants if employers agree to maintain payrolls. The program still has $130 billion available.
Families with children are disproportionately impacted by food insecurity and missed house payments because of the pandemic. The latest survey from the Census Bureau shows nearly 12 million children live in households that missed a rent payment or sought a deferment. Nearly 4 million are experiencing COVID-19 related food shortages. 1.3 million children are living in households facing both types of insecurities. Many of those families are now facing evictions as state moratoriums expire and the protection from the CARES Act ends after July 24th.
So almost a quarter of kids under the age of 5 receive some form of child care from somebody other than a parent. That, like most things, is pretty complicated right now.
But even as COVID cases spike, local daycares are not seeing their numbers go up. Christina Laurie joins us to explain why. Good morning, Christina.
Hi, Leah and Chris. Right now, numbers from the CDC show very low COVID transmission from kids to adults. Now, that's part of the reason daycare centers like KinderCare on Madison's West Side have managed to safely stay open during the pandemic, but it's likely also the result of the extra safety precautions they've implemented. KinderCare's director says her center is not only following CDC guidelines, but taking them one step further. She says cleaning is number one. Her staff is constantly wiping down everything. Every child has his or her temperature taken, not only when they arrive at the center, but several additional times throughout the day. Anytime a child has a fever or any symptom of COVID, chills, nausea, trouble breathing, he or she is immediately separated from other kids. While children aren't required to wear masks, all teachers do. And above all, KinderCare's main goal is making sure families feel and are safe.
Children need that routine. They need that sense of community. And just like we're wanting so much that sense of community with other people, kids want that too, and that's what they're going to find here.
Kimberly says KinderCare's numbers are down right now as some parents remain skeptical about sending their children to daycare while others are still out of work. If you are looking for childcare options, the Wisconsin Department of Children and Families website has a great resource. They have a child care provider portal where you can just type in your zip code and then a whole map comes up that shows the nearest child care options to your home. Chris, Leah.
Sounds like a very useful resource. Christina Laurie, thanks a lot. Well, new this half hour, even though younger people are making up a larger portion of coronavirus cases across the country, some students are paying the data no mind. In fact, they're doing just the opposite. Listen to this. Students in Tuscaloosa are throwing parties as part of a contest to see who can catch the virus first. The COVID parties are apparently part of a game to intentionally infect each other and are purposefully inviting people who already have it. A local affiliate reports the partygoers put money into a pot, and whoever gets the virus first gets the money. Officials wouldn't say what, if any, action would be taken against the students, and wouldn't say what schools the students were from.
Yikes.
Yeah.
This is so irresponsible. There are hardly words for it.
I know. I wish. That's just sickening. I don't understand.
It's the opposite of what we need right now.
Wear a mask and social distance, people. All right, 6:37 right now. Chris Reese here with your first warned weather. And it's a hot one. I feel like I don't even know what to say anymore. It's like every day it's another hot and humid day out there, but it's going to get even worse this weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say we've been practicing with our synonyms at this point. Where's Christina Laurie? She promised me a thesaurus for this week, and I haven't seen it yet. But once again, we are telling you about the heat and the humidity that's sticking around. We're moving towards a holiday weekend, and we have alert days in the forecast. Because of that, heat indices would be up around 100 degrees this weekend. Now, today, they're going to be into the lower 90s. Temperatures starting out at 64. Dew points are into the low 60s as well, but we have some of us that have already jumped into the 70s. That would include Janesville. Mineral Point is at 72. Platteville is at 71. Here are those dew points, though. Dew points are quite a bit cooler than, say, this time yesterday. So we're seeing these dew points that are into the 50s and 60s. They're going to be staying into the low to mid 60s today. So while it's not the immediate, oh, geez Louise, you're going to have a bad hair day. Our producer, Ari, I'll see if she takes a picture later on. She's been talking about just the frizz in her own hair from the humidity that is out there. No showers or thunderstorms, though, so that's certainly a plus for us. We did see some just across parts of western Illinois and eastern Iowa, just north of I-80. That should stay south of us, but I can't rule out a chance of a shower or thunderstorm later on in the afternoon. Temperatures, they'll top out around 88 again. With the humidity, it's going to be feeling like about 92 or 93. Then we'll start to cool down into the 60s for your overnight lows. Tomorrow, we're doing it all over, but one of the other things that happens tomorrow is we'll actually have a better shot to see a shower or thunderstorm into the afternoon. A lot of the models have been picking up on this, so watch that as you head into tomorrow. Otherwise, folks, it's the ridge of heat that we've been really advertising for the past couple of weeks. That's taking hold, and that's going to keep things on the order of what we call a triple H forecast. That means it's going to be hot, hazy, and humid for a good portion of the United States. We're looking at above normal temperatures, folks, throughout the entire forecast. 90s for the weekend, near 90 any day that you're not actually at 90, with those alert days for Saturday and Sunday. Moving towards early next week and throughout all of next week, we'll have a better chance to see a shower or thunderstorm pop up into the afternoon.
I'm canoeing this weekend, Chris. You know that. It looks like the weekend is not going to see too much precipitation, if any at all.
No, we should be dry for the most part this weekend. Just drink plenty of water as you canoe, and I guess try not to fall in unless you want to.
Good luck.
I was like, as hot as it's going to be, it might be tempting.
Yeah, falling in sounds better than the alternative with temperatures like that.
Yeah.
All right, Chris Reese, thank you. 6:40 now. Roughly 40% of Asian and Black Americans say people have acted differently around them because of their race since the start of the pandemic. The Pew Research Center finds nearly a third of Asian Americans say they've been targeted by racist slurs or jokes. 26% say they feared someone could physically attack them. Many Black and Asian folks are also worried they'll be looked at suspiciously if they wear a mask in public.
A Wisconsin senator is filing an amendment to replace Columbus Day with Juneteenth as a new federal holiday. Republican lawmaker Ron Johnson's proposal is an amendment to a bipartisan bill that's already in the Senate. That bill, as it's written, looks to add Juneteenth as a holiday and leave Columbus Day on the calendar. Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin is one of the co-sponsors of that bill. The Cap Times reports she's against Johnson's amendment, saying it undermines making Juneteenth a federal holiday and slows down the process of getting it done.
Continuing coverage now, President Trump says painting Black Lives Matter on Fifth Avenue by the Trump Tower would be a symbol of hate. The painting would resemble those that we've seen pop up across the country. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio says his plan is to send an important message to the entire country and especially to the president. Back in June, the mayor of Washington, D.C. had Black Lives Matter painted along 16th Street, which leads to the White House.
6:41 right now on your Thursday. If you're hitting the road this morning, let's take a look at the roads across the area. Across Madison right now in Dane County, no crashes or major delays to speak of. I was tracking some delays earlier near the Cross Plains area. That has since cleared up. Let's take a look at Rock County right now. Much of the same down there, no red spots, so just a normal day out there right now. 25 minutes from Janesville to the Beltline. Let's take a live look outside this morning. Beautiful start out there. Live look right there. Beautiful side of the sunrise, but it is hot and sticky, folks, and Chris Reese is going to have all the details you need to know coming up.
That heat could also have scary impacts on your health when you're out this weekend. We're going to talk about some of the safety things you should be keeping an eye on, plus why men in particular might want to pack that deodorant. I hope you're doing it anyway, Chris.
What? You're going to call me out like
Both
that?
Both Chris's.
All right, we'll settle this during the break. We'll be right back, folks.
It's time to celebrate at Furniture and Appliance Mart's Stars and Stripes event. Save up to 50% off all appliances, plus 18 months financing with no minimum purchase, and free doorstep drop-off from Wisconsin's own Furniture and Appliance Mart, inside Ashley Home Store off the Beltline.
Bathing safety is essential. So-called Mad City Baths for high-quality, easy-access bath and shower designs installed in as little as 1 day. From walk-in and barrier-free showers to walk-in tubs with microban protection to prevent the growth of bacteria, mold, and mildew. Premium wall patterns like Canyon Rock, Sierra Sand, and more. Mad City Baths is Wisconsin's #1 ranked remodeler. Call now during our summer spectacular sale. Get a new bath or shower for only $49.95. Ask about 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. And call during this program for a free $100 Walmart or Amazon gift card with your free in-home estimate. Now offering flexible installation schedules and virtual online estimates. Throughout Madison and South Central Wisconsin, call 608-729-4466. Be sure to ask about Mad City's Do More discount. Get additional savings on new windows and kitchen upgrades. We're going to put a great product in your home, like our durable one-day bath and shower systems. See the before and after difference? We have thousands of satisfied customers.
I'd rate Mad City Baths 10 out of 10 because of how easy they were to work with, how professional their salespeople and their installers were, and then the quality of the finished product.
Be sure to take advantage of the savings during our summer spectacular sale. Get a new bath or shower for only $49.95. Ask about 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. And call during this program for a free $100 Walmart or Amazon gift card with your free in-home estimate. Now offering virtual online estimates. Call 608-729-4466.
Salute massive savings at Ashley Home Store's Stars and Stripes event. Save up to 60% off. Plus, take a bonus 10% off our sale prices at checkout. And interest-free financing for 3 years on top of our very best deals. Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Madison's not happy treating people differently because of their race.
I've learned when I've been out reporting on the front lines that everyone is impacted differently, but it's also important to take some time to not judge people and to understand where they're coming from and why they might be angry or why they might be sad.
This is our opportunity. You do see the best in some people coming out.
This time feels different. This time, I think, a real conversation may begin.
All right, with that heat index getting close to 100 degrees, who sweats more, men or women?
So, yeah, men like Josh and I, yes, we do sweat more.
Oh, boy.
So
okay.
did I just get left out?
It's really bad.
Yes, and Chris Reese.
My boys.
This does make us more susceptible to heat illness, which is serious. The heat impacts everyone, really, but especially young kids, the elderly, and those who are sick or overweight. So if you're not careful this weekend, you could suffer from heat exhaustion and heat stroke. So the National Weather Service lays out the difference here in this infographic we wanted to share. With heat exhaustion, you'll feel faint or dizzy, you'll sweat a lot, you'll have cool skin, and feel nauseous or even vomit or get muscle cramps. If that happens, get to somewhere cool, drink some water, or take a cool shower. Now, heat stroke is more serious. Symptoms include a throbbing headache, no sweating, nausea or vomiting, rapid pulse, and you could pass out. If that happens, call 911.
I am a true Wisconsinite. I hate heat. I used to pass out on the pitching mound in high school, and people would think I was trying to get out of softball practice. Which maybe I was a couple times, but generally it's just bad with heat.
Full confession time. There was a day in like 7th grade. It's the only time I ever like played sick. There was a time in 7th grade, and the coach was like, "We're doing the pacer test outside, not inside." And I was like, "Nope, I'm sick." I was like, "I'm not doing this." So I told Mom it didn't feel good. Well, they delayed it until the next day. So I went back to school. They're like, "You weren't here yesterday," so we decided to do it today.
Goodness.
But they did it inside, so I still. But yeah.
I have such a problem with heat. I sweat so much that I actually have to keep deodorant on me at all times.
Oh,
it's pretty bad. And it's the clinical protection, too. It's not the normal stuff.
Josh.
I got a problem, folks, and it ain't good.
This is News 3 Now This Morning tells all.
This is not going to be your weekend, Josh.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, that sweating is going to continue, Chris, as we take a look at the sunrise this morning. Another hot and sticky day.
Yep, that's right. 6:47 in the morning. We're already talking about sweat. Temperatures are at 64 degrees. And winds are out of the north and west at 3 miles per hour. That helped us actually stay a little bit cooler overnight, which is why the temperatures dropped into the lower 60s. Now, some of us are already into the 70s, 70 in January. Gainesville right now. Mineral Point at 72. Platteville is at 71. Here's the humidity to go along with it. Those dew points are still into the low 60s, which is oddly enough better than where we've been, but it's still humid enough to frizz up the hair out there. Doppler track is fairly clean for us. As we look ahead, we're going to see that mix of sun and clouds all day long. 83 by lunch. We will top out around 88. The heat index will top out around 92 or 93 today.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to be a really uncomfortable weekend.
Uncomfortable.
Just uncomfortable.
That's a nice word for it. Sweaty is probably a better word.
Good thing we're socially distancing. That's all I'll say. Keep it right here, folks. The morning sprint is coming up next.
But first, we want to say happy birthday to all the kids turning 3 today. Happy birthday. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
News 3 is sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
Whether it's your morning cup of coffee or waiting for mom and dad to come home, our windows will provide endless possibilities to your daily routine here at Mad City Windows. Now would be a great time to take advantage of our summer spectacular sale. Get a house full of windows for $29.95. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. A bonus. Buy 7 or more premium windows and get a patio door installed for free. Ask about our virtual online estimate. Call now to get a $100 Walmart or Amazon gift card with your estimate.
America, we want to help get you back to it. And here's how, with the Ford Promise. Visit your Ford dealer, finance a new, certified pre-owned or used vehicle through Ford Credit, and if you lose your job, you can return it for up to 1 year from the day you bought it. You can also get 0% APR financing for 72 months across the Ford lineup. Let us help get you back to it with the Ford Promise.
Welcome to the Del Bar. One visit and you'll fall in love. A supper club you'll adore. 3 generations and a Wisconsin tradition for over 75 years. We are now open, so take a drive. We would love to have you come and dine with us. The Del Bar, since 1943, Wisconsin Dells.
Aloha, I'm Gary Canolti, inviting News 3 Now viewers to join me on a fabulous tour to the Hawaiian Islands, October 14th to the 23rd. Enjoy the wonderful attractions and tropical scenery on Oahu, Kauai, and Maui. We'll pay our respects at Pearl Harbor, view the majestic landscapes of Waimea Canyon, and discover unique sea life at the Maui Ocean Center. Our vacation includes all airfare, resort hotels, and more. For your free brochure, call Holiday Vacations at 1-800-826-2266.
If you have a fear of overpaying, you have FOOP. But don't worry, US Cellular has your back with the Samsung Galaxy S25G. Free when you switch, plus no activation fees. Stream without disruption, capture and post without restriction, and do it all without FOOP. Switch and get a free Samsung Galaxy S25G at US Cellular. Choose fair.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
I solemnly swear that I will support the veterans of the
United States Armed Forces.
I will defend the Constitution
against all enemies. That I will commit
to ensuring they are
not forgotten.
And I will enable veterans to live the same life of opportunity
they have provided me. So help me God.
Get the facts with Reality Check, only on News 3 Now.
6:52, time for the morning sprint.
We start with new restrictions coming to Dane County today. Starting at 8 this morning, indoor gatherings are limited to 10 people or less. For outdoor gatherings, it's 25 people max. Restaurant capacity now cut in half, down to 25%. Gyms, stores, and salons can still operate at 50% capacity. We'll break down the specifics over on channel3000.com.
4.3% of yesterday's tests came back positive. That is a slight drop from Tuesday. However, you see we're still on an upward trend over the past couple of weeks. 78% of the state's 29,000 cases have recovered.
A city committee in Milwaukee is holding a hearing today on a potential mask mandate. The proposed ordinance could last until the end of the year. It's modeled after LA's current mask law that requires a face covering when you visit a business, use public transportation, or take part in any outdoor activities. That hearing will be followed up with a public comment session. Then Common Council will take it up next week.
As colleges make plans to potentially welcome students back to campus this fall, the CDC is updating its guidance. Many universities plan to test everyone coming back, but now the CDC is advising against it. They say testing everyone before they come back hasn't been systematically studied, and it's unclear if doing it would actually reduce person-to-person transmission of the virus.
The latest jobs report will come out in about half an hour here, and we're expecting some good news. But the predicted surge in U.S. job growth is not expected to last. Economists estimate around 3 million jobs were added in June, but the most up-to-date data suggests the recent spike in coronavirus cases will limit more gains, and it won't be enough to offset the 22 million jobs lost between March and April.
Struggling small business owners could get some more help from the federal government here. A bill that would revive the $670 billion small business aid program is on its way to the president. Politico reports the legislation would allow the Paycheck Protection Program to resume issuing loans until August 8th. The loans can be converted to grants if employers agree to maintain payrolls. The program still has $130 billion available.
Republican Senator Ron Johnson says he wants to replace Columbus Day with Juneteenth as a new federal holiday. He's filing an amendment to a bipartisan bill in the U.S. Senate, which would add Juneteenth as a holiday and leave Columbus Day on the calendar. Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin is one of the co-sponsors of that original bill. The Cap Times reports she's against Johnson's amendment, saying it undermines making Juneteenth a holiday and slows down the process of getting it done.
Thousands of black activists from across the country will hold a virtual convention to come up with a new political agenda. They want to build on the support for the Black Lives Matter movement and the success of protests following the death of George Floyd. The 2020 Black National Convention will happen in late August online, featuring conversations, performances, and other events to develop a set of demands before the November election.
Breaking overnight, the Trump administration is introducing a proposal to allow federally funded housing services turn people away based on their gender identity. The proposed rule was introduced by the Department of Housing and Urban Development. It rolls back provisions added under the Obama administration. Under the proposed rule, shelter providers can decide if they want to admit folks who have a different gender identity than the sex they were assigned at birth. Final look at traffic at 6:55 this Thursday morning. A look at the Madison Metro. No crashes or major incidents to speak of. We are seeing some more slowdowns popping up along Park Street and also East Washington Avenue. Inbound drive times, though, looking good. That's your first warn traffic.
Good Thursday morning, folks. We are looking to the sky this morning as the sun gets higher. Temperatures are at 67 degrees right now. We're warming on up. 70 in Janesville, 72 for Mineral Point, Platteville at 71. Viroqua is at 68. We're looking at temperatures that'll warm all the way up towards 88 today with the heat and humidity. I cannot rule out an isolated chance of a shower or thunderstorm. We'll cool down towards 66. We'll do it all over again tomorrow, though we actually have a little bit of a better shot at seeing a shower or thunderstorm tomorrow. Heat indices this afternoon will be into the low 90s. They're going to be in the low 100s this weekend. That's the reason for the alert days on Saturday and Sunday. More widespread chances for some showers and thunderstorms will be possible Monday through Friday of next week, with the coolest high temperature in this forecast being 87. Yikes.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris. And thanks for joining us this morning, folks. Stay cool. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.